Yes, Hopkins logged us out. Hopkins. Okay, like I said, thank you, Chukwemeka. Oh, I'm blushing. Um, so where am I starting from? Where am I starting from? I said some of the systemctl commands. Systemctl start Apache, systemctl stop Apache, systemctl reload or restart to restart the service, and systemctl enable to enable a service. Now, has anyone here been able to install Apache before? From the beginning, where did you get lost? I mean, we're talking of systemctl. Yes, you have to be a root user for it to run. These are system commands. I mean, these are administrative root user commands. Actually, apparently, yeah. So we are going to be installing Apache. Yeah. We are going to be installing, or we're going to install Apache. Please, you need to all pardon me. English is not my number one strong suit. Yeah, I know some have, some haven't. So the first thing you need to do before you can install a service, after you must have installed your Linux, you try to ensure that you have all your services running on their latest version. So the first thing I'm doing here is to install my service. Now that I have installed, is to update my service. Now that I have updated my services, the next thing I want to do now is to install Apache 2. But before I do that, I want to show you all something. Just give me a little. I'm coming. I told you when I'm done my training. So to see, let's say I want to see app list Apache 2. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to install. You are trying to list. So if I run app list Apache 2-A, it shows me everything I can install for Apache. This is how you can actually know all this. You can actually know what you're going to install for a particular service. I don't want to break your heart for that to start. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and install Apache apt install. We all know how to use the app manager, the application manager, right? So these are the, now you have to go through this. My screen is not hanging. My screen shouldn't be. What's happening to Hopkins today, for Christ's sake? What's all this now? Sorry about that, guys. Sorry. I'm just noticing it. Yeah, it's back. John Hopkins University. No, it's not Breaking Bad. Oh, it's not Breaking Bad. It's not hanging. It's hanging garden of whatever it is. So now, if you run the apt install Apache, remember I'm a sudo user here. I'm a root user. So I can run this without having to put in my sudo, but you need to use sudo if you're running it from your side. Now you can see it's reading the package list. It's going to check what are the package list I would need to install. So it's going to run the following packages. It's telling me it's going to run this following pack because, like I said, there will be libraries that you require. So these are some of the libraries that you require to run Apache. These are some of the libraries you require to run Apache. Right? Now, it's going to also install the latest versions of those packages. So here it is, Apache 2, Apache Bean, data, these are the libraries that it's going to require. So once I click my yes, you guys should refresh your screen, refresh anything that needs to be refreshed. You should see me, you should see my stuff. Everything is fine. So here, if you can see my screen, please, can I get a yes? Once I can get 5 years, then I know that 4, 5, then my screen is fine. Now I've installed Apache. I've installed Apache. This is not, firewall is not enabled by default, but let's just confirm. So this is my firewall. I'm just trying to check what are the list of things that are allowed in my firewall. I'll do the AFW allow Apache. Okay. But I don't expect this to be. I don't expect this to be active. Yes, I don't expect it to be active because it doesn't come active. But it's fine that we allowed it. So if we enabled it, if we enable the UFW, then we are fine. But it's inactive. So since it's inactive, there is no point in giving our headaches on that. So do you all understand what I've done so far up onto installing Apache? Yes, I'll just take it. I'll take it as a big yes. So the next thing is, let's run systemctl status Apache 2 to see if Apache is running. And yes, Apache is running. Right? Now, since Apache is running, I want to get, this is my IP address. Okay, I want to use this IP address. So I should think this should work on my own server, on my own system. If I come in here and I run this, yes. So you can see Apache is running, and I can have access to that, and I can have access to the Apache localhost file. No, you can't run localhost, something. So the reason why you can't run localhost is using your 127.0.0.1, which is your own server. But I want to connect to this server. So it means I have to use the IP address of this server. Okay, you all know what I've done so far until I installed Apache, right? Nobody has an issue with my installation of Apache. Now, for me to access my Apache, or for me to access the server, what I just need to do is to get the IP address of my server. And you get that from this. My IP address could be this. Let me hope that this will work because I've never tried this before. That's not allowed on my server, so that's not going to work. So my IP address that's allowed, which is my ENP08 server, is the IP address of the Vagrant server. The IP address of the Vagrant server. You understand? And that is 192.56.8. So if I bring that here and I put that here, tada, it gives us the. Emeka, how am I too fast? What's the issue? Like I said, I ran some UFW commands. App list is showing me the available applications that I can actually. You know what? Do you know what UFW is? Do you know what UFW might not be found in everyone's server? UFW is a firewall. There are different firewalls. UFW, there is the one for CentOS. There are different types of firewalls. UFW is a firewall that comes pre-installed with Ubuntu. IP tables, exactly. Firewall, exactly. You all know this. Now, UFW is the one that comes pre-installed with Ubuntu. And I did my UFW allow to allow Apache. It's not going to do it because it has done that already. Then the next thing I did was UFW status to see that UFW itself is even working. And it shows me here that it's inactive. Like I said, UFW comes inactive with UFW comes inactive in Ubuntu. Of course, Moses. I'm checking everyone here as a newbie. I'm not. There is nothing here that I've said that as much that is complicated. Victor, I'm pretty sure if you have been following us from the ongo, we have spoken so much about terminals, Git, and all that. I mean, we need to move forward. Yeah, YouTube. I want to understand what's the challenge here, please. What exactly is the challenge? What are you guys having as a challenge here? It's simple. Once you have installed Apache, ensure that your Apache is working. Systemctl status Apache 2. You can see that it shows my Apache is working. And if my Apache is working, Control Z, clear. You can simply, there are many ways of doing it. You can simply run your call localhost. Something, this is how you can see Apache is working here. If you run your call localhost, you can see the CSS files and everything for your Apache, or you get the IP address of your server, which is this. Copy it, go to your terminal, go to your URL, and paste the IP address, and that's all. Because when I did UFW app list, you can see what it calls Apache here. It calls Apache, not Apache 2. So that's the reason why I did not use Apache 2. Site cannot be reached. It means that you can you ping that IP? If you can ping the IP, you should be fine, Daffy. William, please, let's take it easy on everyone here. Anyone having issues should always reach out to colleagues, reach out to me. I would always try to help out. Let's just take it easy on everyone here. Both IP and call US. All right, that's good. Ola, that's yes. Emmanuel, that's great. All right, Samson. Yes, that's all, Marianne. That's all you just need to do to install Apache. All right. All right, guys. So we have Apache running now, and we have the Apache service running. Now, if we run the Apache sudo status stop Apache, it stops it. So it means that Apache has been stopped. It's not running. And if Apache is not running, you can't see this. So Apache is not running and I can't have access to that. Okay, so let's restart Apache. If you run the restart, will it work? Yes, it does work. Apache is back running. You run your server, your URL, and it works. Okay. Questions and answer time. Let's see what do we have in our LMS today again after installing Apache. Okay, now let's look at the journal CTL. Let's look at the journal CTL, right? Great. So your journal CTL is that's just what gives you, everything you need to know about your system CTL. That's where the logs are being stored. So I want to take a look at my journal my logs for, okay, clear. So journal CTL -u Apache 2.service should give me the logs on my Apache. Yeah, if you want to leave Apache ready, that's fine. We're going to use Apache much later in our next tasks. So you can see these are the logs that I have with Apache. This was the most recent one where I started Apache. This was where I also stopped Apache. This is where I started Apache, and so on and so forth. So everything that's going to be happening in Apache, you will have access to it from here. I'm pretty sure you all should learn how to use tail. We were told that tail. Who can tell us what tail does? No, last 10, not first 10. I don't know how to use tail with this one. No, when I know vex. So I don't know this one. I don't know this one. Yeah, you need to watch the video again. All right. Sorry, I don't know that one. Man, I know vex. Yeah, it actually shows the last 10. Probably we don't even have up to 10. That's why we should have about 10 here. So, but This is all, there are 11 of them. So these are the logs. No, you can't use pipetail. You can't use pipetail. I don't think you can use pipetail. Okay, back to, so do we all understand how to, so what we have been able to achieve today is, yes, you can only use it for live logs. Thanks, Patrick. Thanks, Patrick. I think that's right. So what we've been able to achieve today is installation of Apache, a brief understanding of systemctl, so on and so forth. So before we move into the security benchmark, let me try that. Let me try to see if you can pipe tail, if you can pipe tail. Oh, interesting. Let's see. That's good. So you can see that you guys are actually, you even know more than me. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. You guys are doing better than I am now. You guys know far better than I do. So we have our Apache running. I want to, in in addition to my Apache running, I want to see if, does anybody know what this is? Host name. Yeah, the host name is also a way of getting your your IP addresses. So you can actually use your host name to get your IP addresses or the name of that server. Does anybody know what host name here means? Yes, that's because you have just one IP. Exactly. So let's take, for instance, that we want to change this host name. We want to change the host name of that server because, um, as a systems administrator, you should reference your server IP, your server to a particular name. So what you need to do is to pipe or is to attach your server IP name to a particular IP. Yes, Patrick, host name is a label for a server. So what I want to do now is I want to change this host name. So if I do my host name CTL, it gives me, this gives me every detail about the server. This is my server, the host name of my server, the icon, the chassis, the machine details, the boot ID, my virtualization type, the operating system, the architecture I'm actually running on, and the kernel. So that gives me that. Now, if I want to set a new host name, all I just need to do is run my host name, CTL, set host name, and I'll call it alt school Apache, alt school that Apache. Are you all following me? All right, great. So if I run my host name CTL, you can see my host name has been changed. This is my, I've changed my host name to old school CTL Apache. Now, I want to reference to my host name to my server. So let's run something. Let's see our cart. Our host name is stored in your etc host name. Then I want to reference my server, my IP to my server. Um, nano slash etc slash host. Then my IP is my IP. Who knows my IP again? 192.168.56. What dot 8.8. Who has an idea what I've just done? Oh, thanks. Who has an idea what I've just done? No, I updated. No, I labeled my IP to that my host name. I assigned an IP to my host name. Not to my host. Yeah, my server name. Yes. Yes. So as a systems administrator, you would if anyone is telling you because you have blocks of IPs, and you want a situation where you can reference a particular server with the name. So you have Johnson servers, Johnson 1, Johnson 2, Johnson 3. They are assigned to a particular IP. So we don't need to use, that's basically what we call the DNS. We don't need to use the IP address to identify it, because it will have probably different IP addresses that changes. Let's see that we have the magic running first. Vagrant halt master. I'm stopping my master so that the host name will identify the IP, so it will be assigned and I can be able to see it. Will I be able to have access to this from my terminal? Let's hope I'll be able to have access to this from my terminal. Let us hope. Vagrant SSH master. Vagrant of master. I should have just done vagrant reload master. Thank you. You see, you guys are even hotter than me, Seth. You know, the bono. I hope we'll be able to assign. I hope we'll be able to get to the URL of this. Will make sense, though. Okay. So, what's my host name? Apache. What's my? Am I able to cat etc slash host? Okay. Let's hope this works. Let's hope this works. It didn't work. Why? Oh yes, I need to add it to my own system. Oh yes, that's why it didn't work. I need to add it to my own system. Yeah. Who can tell me why that did not work? Who can tell me why that did not because I use Google, no. Who can tell me why that did not work? Yeah, I already said it before. That means that you're listening. Okay, what didn't I add to my system? Okay. What didn't I add to my system? What was I supposed to add to my system? What didn't I add to my system? DS catch util flush catch. Okay. So do you all know what I've done now? I'm Oh, I should zoom in. Sorry, y'all. Sorry. Um so what I just particularly did was I added the IP to my own to my own system. I added the IP to my own system. Um, then Control X. Then I cleared my cache. So by doing this, I should be able to call alt school and yes, I'm fine. It works. I can come in here and just type alt school Apache. Why is it not working here? Okay, maybe because it has Google, as someone said. HTTPS alt school Apache. Why is it not working on my URL? It should work on my browser. It should work on my browser. I've added HTTP. Okay, let me remove the S. It should work on my browser. HTTP alt school Apache. Yes, thank you very much. HTTP Gideon. No. There's no need to add the local. But I mean, we're in a school of learning, so why not I try adding the local and see if it works? There's no need to add local because I didn't set that in my setup. So you see, I'm right. HTTP alt school Apache. Okay, that was what I did when I entered into my host file on my system. Well, me and Google with the quarrel. Oh. I don't know why Google is just worrying me. Yes, I cleared my DNS chat. That was what I did for. So I'm using a Mac actually. So me clearing my DNS is different from the way you guys will clear yours. For you, you would need the Nano ETS hostname to add it if you're using a Linux system. If you're using a Windows system, it's also different. So do you understand what I've done so far? For you to see your host file, you just run clear. For you to see your host file, you just do cat/etc/host, and this shows you your host file. Oh, thank you, Thank you, Patrick. So that's the command to flush your DNS on Windows. Okay, what's the no for, please? What's the no for? Are we lost? Are we lost? Let us know. Let us know. Are we lost? That is for Mac system, not for Samsung. That's Mac system. Okay, so where did you start getting lost? Let's know where we are picking up from. From changing the host name, you don't get. From changing the host name. So do you know? Do you know what? Do you know the command to see your host name? This is the command to see your host name. Fine. Now, you know what that we always said. See, you can't know it all in Linux. And until you start getting used to using your help command in Linux, you're going to keep having issues. Even Linux himself uses his help command. Nobody knows all the various help that comes with it. Now, for me to change my host name, all I just need to do, look at the command here for me to change my host name. That's set hostname command. So if I type my hostname CTL and I type my set hostname, then I give it a new name. Let's say I give it Tuyo dot p. Okay, Tuyo Junior. Junior. Tuyo Junior. Tuyo, they say too many arguments. No, I need to be. So I've changed my host name, right? And next thing we can see my host name as this. If I decide to want to make it look clean, I just do this pretty PRETTY, and I run my this. It makes it look. It's supposed to make it look neat. Well, whatever. So I'm going to be setting it back to alt school Apache. Now, after setting up my host name, the next thing I did was, if you want, I want it to be reached from. So this is the name of my server right now. Old school Apache is the name of this server, of this system. So if, for instance, I have multiple hosts, that's good, cool. Let's see if we can reach this server from our slave. Remember our slave? Remember they are both in the same network. If I run my call, you all should know what call does. Alt school Apache. Why can't it resolve that? Okay, because it's not added to my host file /etc/host. If I run that, if I add this in my host file here, I should be able to, I should also be able to reach it here also 168 dot. Hello, can you all hear me? 56.8 old school Apache. If I run E here and restart and reload this, so I'm just since I already have two servers, let me use the two of them. I hope you are understanding. I hope you're understanding me now, Emeka, Toyo, and Co. I hope you guys are understanding me. I hope you are. Michael, what's the confusion? Where's the confusion coming in from? I'm just practically going back and doing the same thing that we've done like 2 or 3 times already. Where are you confused? Please send me a chat if you're still confused. Okay, so basically what I'm doing is I'm trying to access my server from another Linux machine. I'm trying to access my server from another Linux machine, another Vagrant Linux machine. That's what I'm trying to do. So if I run my curl old school Apache, remember I'm on the slave machine. You can see I can now have access to that. This shows that I now have access to that. Do you all understand? So basically, that's how to run this. All right, guys, let's move on. Can we move on to the next topic now? I have my two machines are the same thing. They're both Ubuntu Focal machines, but I identified it separately by using. So let's talk about the CIS benchmark. For this, we will just have to go to. No, this is an advert. We just have to go to the CIS website. I think it should be this. Okay, so no, you're not supposed to know everything. Apparently, you just meant to know your own server, what server you're setting up. You can go to the benchmark and decide and use what server they advise you to use. You're not supposed to know everything. So these are for different servers. So to start with, for a server for let's say I saw it just now. Yes, the Debian. So the Debian family. These are some of the toolkits, the build kits that need server hardening systems that would need to know. Let's say, how do you download this now? Okay. Please tell me why I need to It's not a book. It's just go to the site, cissecurity.org. That's where you get education. Who am I here? I'm an intern at Alt School. What's my email? I don't know my email off by heart. Chibike at Alt School Africa. altschoolafrica.com. Country, Nigeria. I've read that. Then I want to now download the book. Check my email. So let's wait for it. Let's wait for it to come up. Oh, if anybody has it, can you share it here? So we could just use that. I put my wrong email. Seriously. Let's try it again. Debian. If anybody has it here, probably I must have actually really don't put my. I must have put a wrong email. Ooh, yes, actually, it's Conrad. Okay, let's see if we can get for this. If anybody has it, you just sent me a link on Slack. Oh, thank you very much. Guys, give me a minute, please. Okay. Yeah, thanks very much for sending me this. So this is an example of a benchmark for Ubuntu Linux. I think one of us actually went through all this. So these are some of the things that, like, the file system configurations that you might need to set up. So it's telling you ensure mounting of CRMFS files is disabled. It's usually this is automated. Ensure mounting of FreeVX. So these are, like, they have been able to check and tell you some of the things that you need to do. This is basically what we call hardening of your terminal. They've been able to check and tell you some of the things you need to do to protect your server from hackers. That's just basically what it means. Ensure separate partition exists for home. So different people have different partitions in your home file, and things like that. So these are more like, Holy Grail, your Bible, as a Linux systems administrator. Ensure IMAP POP server are not installed in your server. Ensure Samba is not installed. Samba is also a way of sending emails. Ensure HTTP proxy servers are not. So for you to have, for instance, for you to have a Samba server, you need to have your, for you to have a Samba service, you need to have your own Samba server and not on your Linux server. Ensure sync service is not installed. These are services that hackers could actually use to, to wreak havoc. Ensure telnet clients is not installed and all that. So as you can see, these are all, there are so many of them. There are so many of them, and they go about to give you a reason why you should do it. So let's take, for instance, I don't want to talk about any of the file systems. Let's say we are going to talk about, okay, USB access, right? Or maybe it might be like, say you like joke, it's like you like joke too much. So now, for instance, part of the things that we get, now one of the things here, it says disable USB storage. So don't allow anyone use USB in your server. It says USB storage provides a means to transfer and store files, ensuring persistency and availability of the files independent of the network status. Its popularity and utility has led to USB-based malwares being a simple, common means of network infiltration and a first step to establishing a persistent threat within a networked environment. You don't prioritize. You should actually ensure this is not for you to select what you want to use. This is for you to implement as many as everything that is here. So this is how you stop it. If you run the following commands: mod prob this, install bin/true, this helps you so let's run this on our server. Let's run this on our server. So this is already installed. Then let's install bin true. Sorry, I should have added my apt and put my sudo, giving ready command list, unsupported file bin true, giving on command line. Okay, I don't need to bin true. My bin true should be correct. It's already installed, that's why it's drawing that. Then I want to install my USB storage. Apt install /USB/storage. Sorry, sudo apt install /USB/storage. Okay, you can't run that in the command line. So actually, it's already been installed. That's why it's telling me I can't run that in the command line. Now run the command to unload the module. So if I run, I hope if I run this, it's not currently loaded. So it's been installed on my system, but it's not loaded on my system. So it means that that is actually working properly. No, you are supposed to ensure that these things, can't you see, run the following command. Okay, yeah, I was supposed to edit this file to edit Yeah, I'm supposed to edit the file and add this command into it. Yes. Thank you very much for pointing out. I didn't read it. So you're supposed to have edited this file, created the usb.config file, add it, install USB, then unload it. So basically, these are remediations for different things and different ways people can have access to your server. So any questions, please? So Faith, I said the UFW is a Linux command for firewall. It's a Linux command for firewall. It's a firewall that comes by default with Ubuntu. Even if I do the Ubuntu, the USB one, my brother, how am I going to show you that it works? Mecca, how will I show you that it works? You are, I think you are the one to pick it up and run that on your server. Probably if your server packs up after that, well, if your system packs up after that, well. Okay, so how are we going about the lectures today? I hope I've been able to cover most of the things you studied in your LMS. I heard some people saying that you're not following the LMS. I don't know. I think I am. Yeah, if you just sent in your request, I would accept it this evening. If you just sent in your request in the past 2 days, I'll accept it this evening. Requests. I will accept all the requests, don't worry. All right. So guys, this is an example of a unit file which we are going to test, which we are going to write next week. And I would like us to write a unit file for a service which we are going to test next week. Yes, you can be able to access the video later. My name is just Conrad. I'm not a SAP, please. I have not been able to get anything from the team. I think I'll discuss with them tomorrow, and I'll get back to you guys on the chat, Malcolm, how we're going to go about with that. I think there'll be a form, so from that form we can set five people for against Saturday class. I'm talking about Saturday. Michael, if you feel like you know nothing, then you have quite a number of people here who knows quite a lot. We have people who have been following a lot, and I'm pretty sure in the group there is a lot of assistance. I'm not Sir, I'm just Conrad. How do you know all this? Rejoice, I don't know what you're asking me. I don't know anything. Please, I'm also an intern. Yeah, Michael, are you on the Slack channel? If you're on the Slack channel, I think there's quite a lot of update that goes in there. So please try to take your time, ask questions. A lot of people respond to questions. In fact, I think you guys are even doing better than I would have imagined doing. So a lot of people answer questions there, and I think it's a very lovely place to be. So follow it up, and we should be fine. 。 Ezekiel, I'll pretend like I didn't see that message. I'm not a lead developer. I'm an intern. I'm a Linux intern. Unit service is a type of service also that is a type of service that you run. Ah, man, I can't even remember what I said about unit service, unit intern again. Please just, I'm an intern. I'm an intern. I, I'm seriously, I'm really learning. I'm just learning Linux. I think I had my first exposure. I think I had my first exposure to Linux in 2008, and I started using it since then. So, so if you ask me, I would say you guys should get a Linux system and use it very well. Ha, Victor. Hmm. Yes, they are interns with 10 years. You need to see what is happening in the space. I've met a lot of people that are like madmen. Trust me, they are next level. They are next level geeks. I'm still learning. I'm struggling with authenticating my GitHub with my computer. So what you need to do, Dagana, is you need to you need to create an SSH key, copy the public version of the SSH key, paste it in your GitHub account, and run the git at, I think, SSH add the SSH key in your Mac system, and it should authenticate to Git. You'll go online. I think there are some documentation that can help you with that, Dangana. Can you run a quick recap from the UFS? What do you want? What do you want to know about the UFS status, please? We are going to write Bash script. I hope you guys are aware of that. Yes, yes. Like I said initially, it is not enabled by default. Faith, it is not enabled by default. PSW is a Linux based, it's an Ubuntu based firewall. So except if it is installed, yes, we're going to do Bash scripting. I don't understand what you mean by that. Your nano keeps showing up empty. Can you need to understand, if you're using Linux, if you're using Windows, it means you need to use the Linux command, Linux terminal on Windows, and it has a different file location. It stores everything it does on its own file location in your Windows. Okay, guys. Any questions? All right. Rejoice. I'll tell you what a Linux swap space is. So a Linux swap space is it's like a reserved physical memory. Now, so let me give you an instance. That's one of the good things I like about Linux. When you're creating a Linux system, you usually give a swap command, a swap RAM. Now, what that swap RAM does is it's stored. It takes a portion of your RAM and containerizes it or holds it as a reservoir. So if at any point in time you use up all the RAM that your server uses and it's full, you would start having some sort of inactive pages or memories and all that. So that swap space now comes in and helps you to run some other activities, because it has already stored that RAM, it will just help you quickly run some of those other activities and help your system not to crash, more or less. That's just practically what that swap RAM does. That's just what the swap does. Swap is just a backup of your RAM. So if you're running multiple processes and your RAM is finished, and there is a particular process that is needed, and you don't have enough RAM to run that process, the swap the system processor will automatically activate the swap and say, please give me some of the RAM that I gave to you to hold for me, and you will borrow him that RAM. You will then use that part of that RAM that you have stored to run the new process, or to run the process that needs to be run, and it will then return back the RAM, so that it doesn't need to. There will not be hanging. There will not be hanging. All these hanging things that happen on Windows system. That's one of the ways Linux has been able to eliminate hanging from their systems in so many ways, because Windows does not usually. Windows has a lump of RAM and uses virtually everything on your services. I hope I hope that explains it to you, Rejoice. I didn't, Eric. I didn't go about the presentation again, because my presentation was actually covered with this training. So when I saw the training, I realized there's no need for a presentation. You want me to, on top of all these things I'm doing, still do PowerShell, PowerPoint presentation for you? Sorry, I couldn't do it. When I saw that we had everything, it was in the next training, so there was really no need. But now mostly Chrome they hang. Yeah, you need to realize that Chrome uses a lot of RAM space. Let me take you for instance and show you the number of RAM Chrome is eating up on my own server, or my own system rather. So it's just a system I'm using. Show me. Yes, it should be here. So if I look at usage history, is it usage history? Is it battery? Oh, it's not any of this. Okay, significant energy. So this is terminally for, what's the name, for Mac, my own top for Mac. If you can see my screen properly, you would see that my Firefox itself is taking up a RAM of how much? How many? Okay, memory. Yeah, I was looking at energy. Let's look at memory. You can see my RAM. You can see my Firefox alone is eating up 25 gig of my memory. You can see it's eating up 25 gig of my memory. So basically, you can see my VirtualBox headless, which is my Vagrant, is taking up 2 gig. I have another one taking 1.4 and 1.4. So you can see all the services that are running, and you can be able to. So once my services once it has taken up all the memory, and I need to run a new service, that's where the swap comes in. You can see my physical memory is 32 gig RAM, and my apps that are running there is taking up 12.5 gig. Yes, Chibundo, I'm using a 32 gig RAM. So you can see my apps are taking up 12.4, 12 gig, and so on. I'm using 27 gig out of my 32 gig RAM. No, I didn't. I didn't. A link will be shared with everybody. Don't fuck. I need to. All right, guys. Emeka, you start your internship now. By let's finish up what we're doing, right? I think that there are some questions going on here. Too many Conrad. Don't know if I'm inviting the right one. Been pending since. Um, Joy, my name is github.com/Conrad. That's all. All right, guys. Have a wonderful evening and stay blessed. Catch you guys at the top when we shall all become intense. Yeah, good night. Answer you, Dafe. What have I don't answer, Dafe? You didn't ask me any question now. There's a Q&A section. You didn't use it. Okay, guys. Catch you all on Saturday. Don't forget to reach out if you have any challenges on my Slack. I'm always there for you. Bye.